20 centimeters, the size. This is the size of the super soul, which we can experience if we sit in the heart of your own body. And the super soul does two things. Whatever you feel, perceive, think, is also felt and registered by the super soul. Yes.
It's a Paramatma.
Paramatma.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. That's called the super soul, the Paramatma. He's, in Bhagavad Gita says, everywhere is his arms, his eyes, his ears. So he registers everything that goes on. You can't hide anything. You can hide things from other conditioned living beings, you know. So, I would spend the night in Laguni's apartment kindly, and I was there. I saw a big bag of candy. I like candy. I could try and take it from him and hide it, and he would maybe not notice. But fortunately, I didn't do that. It's standing right there now, so for the children. But it's possible to hide. It's possible to cheat. It's possible to lie to people because we are not all-knowing like Krishna. You can never lie for Krishna. You can never hide anything. You can never cheat Krishna. He knows, you know. He knows. So when it comes to religion, the goal is to establish a civilized relationship with God. Lying and cheating and hiding is not a good start if you want to repair your relationship with somebody. So he knows everything. He registers everything. And then what does he do? He also grants some wishes you have, what you need. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Kshema Vaham Yaham. He carries what you lack and preserves what you have, especially when it comes to devotees. But also the birds and the beasts in the forests generally don't have to worry. They will get their food, they will get their shelter. It's kind of built into the system. Of course, when we enter the human form, we may create some bad karma, which may result in poverty or in disease or whatever it is. You know. But Krishna supplies through the super soul whatever you need. He knows, okay, he needs this, he needs that. And when you actually focus on Krishna, focus on the super soul, Krishna's form, then he takes a little bit special interest. And I think the best way one can explain this, or at least one way, if you go downtown in the city, you enter a big square. There's a big open space packed with people. And you sit there and you watch, you register, yeah, they're going here, they're going there, they're speaking, some is dancing, playing instruments. So many things are going on in the square. But then all of a sudden, there's one person way over there that looks you straight in the eyes and say, hey, look here, come, you know. You notice this person, right? Because he or she is directing. That's like praying to Krishna. Instead of just going about with autopilot one day, next day, you direct your focus, your worship, you're directed to the Lord in prayers. And you ask Him. Many people will ask some material benefit. Please, Lord, give me a Mercedes or a color TV or, you know, cure my grandmother's disease or whatever. It's, you know, that's fine because at least you're giving attention to God. He doesn't mind. It's a good start because we know God has everything. It's called Bhagavan. Van means the owner or proprietor of Bhaga, all the opulences there are, all wealth, all money, all strength, all power, all knowledge, all fame, all beauty. He has it all. So some people think, well, okay, God, you have everything. So if you give me a little piece of the cake, you know, you won't miss anything. And that's true. You know, in the Upanishad it says, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnasya Udachyate. Krishna, he manifests full and complete and perfect units without becoming diminished himself. If I have 1,000 crowns and I give 100 to Laguna Prabhu, then I have only 900. Doesn't work like that with Krishna. If he gives 100 crowns, He has 1,000, he has much more. But then he gives 100, he still has 1,000. It doesn't diminish. That's Krishna. He has everything. So praying to the Lord means you're directly addressing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he hears. Some people say, this praying business is somebody doing some blah blah. Who's listening? Yeah, who's listening? Super soul is listening, hears everything. And when you give special attention to Krishna, miraculous things happen. Please, my dear Lord, please, dear energy of the Lord, engage me in your devotional service. Because that's the only useful thing one can do in existence. Jivara Svarup hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. The Svarup, the true identity of the living being, is to be Krishna's constant servant. And which servant means you express your attraction, your love, your affection for the Lord in different practical ways. You cook for the Lord, you do arti for the Lord, you offer him flowers, you sing beautiful songs for the Lord, you meditate on his form, you tell other people about the Lord. That's what he likes the best, actually. You walk out, give the people a book, tell them about Krishna, and this is a way to conquer. Krishna is God, but by doing this, you will actually conquer him, if that's what you want to do. Krishna is called Ajit. He doesn't have any person who is stronger than it. He's unconquerable. But by bhakti, you can actually conquer Krishna. So, and this is Lord Nityananda. He is the super soul. We celebrated him. Krishna's first expansion is Lord Balaram, identical, just slightly different mentality, different clothes. And then Lord Balaram, which is no other than Lord Nityananda, he has basically 5 forms. He becomes the Mahashankarshan. Mahashankarshan is the one who is in charge of the entire cosmic manifestation, the entire material world. And then he manifests as the Karanodakasha Vishnu, who lies on the causal ocean and exhales. Every universe comes out of his breath. And then it's Garbhodakasha Vishnu, who enters into each and every one of the universes, resting on Anantashesha, which is also Balaram. That's his 5th form. And then in every universe, in every heart, he's also Kshirodakasha Vishnu, the super soul. So that's Nityananda in a nutshell, so to speak. He does all these things while Krishna is enjoying in Raj, in the spiritual world, having fun with his coward friends, being pampered by Mother Yashoda and the older relatives, dancing with the gopis, playing games. Krishna has no business with the material world, really. Balaram takes care of that. Lord Nityananda takes care. So, somebody asked Prabhupada, what's the meaning of everything? And he says, this is pleasure. So, Anandamaya Vyasat. Krishna is all the time seeking for more pleasure. His devotees is looking for more pleasure. And Nityananda means constant pleasure, eternal pleasure. Nitya Ananda. Ananda means spiritual bliss. So he is the one that prepares everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Krishna and Radha, they do the drama. They do the intrigues and all the, sidelong glances and all the spiritual jealousness and all that stuff. And Balaram is facilitating all this, He makes sure that everything is in its place. It says that when Krishna is a small baby, he was put on a big banyan tree leaf on the river Yamuna, and he was floating on the river Yamuna. Bal Krishna, small baby Krishna. And he was engaged in something really sweet, like babies do. He was sucking his own toe, That's the sweetest thing. So he had that. But the banyan tree leaf, that's Balaram, supporting Krishna, river Yamuna. And he's the harmonium, he's the microphone, he's the mridanga, everything which is directly connected with Krishna is not different from Balaram, Nityananda. And there is another beautiful verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Nityananda avadhuta sabata agala chaitanyara dasya prema haila pagala. Nityananda, the wandering mendicant, because Nityananda can do some really funny, crazy things as well. That's his nature, because it brings joy to Krishna, it brings joy to Lord Chaitanya. He's the foremost of all the servants of Lord Chaitanya. They're inseparable, and they take different positions. Sometimes Nityananda becomes the guru of Chaitanya, sometimes he's the servant, and sometimes he's like Krishna Balaram, when they played like being bulls. They were going head to head, like this, playing. So he became the friend, like this, just for the pleasure of Lord Nityananda. So he's the foremost of all the servants of Lord Chaitanya. Now listen carefully. He is like the gateway through which all service to Lord Chaitanya must pass. And he becomes mad himself in the ecstasy of service to Lord Chaitanya. So if you get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you are sure to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, of Krishna, and Radha, like this. Lord Nityananda, he gives you strength to continue. You can just ask Lord Nityananda for strength in devotional service, and he will give this. So they're inseparable, Krishna, Chaitanya, and Lord Nityananda. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down. If you have faith in one but disrespect the other, your logic is like the logic of accepting half a hen. You know what that means? Half a hen? It was this hen was making golden eggs. So the guy was really happy. Oh, I get golden eggs, fantastic, nice. So he was, getting rich. But then I have to feed the hen. So why should I feed the hen? I just cut off the head, and I will just get the golden eggs. Doesn't work like that. That's the philosophy of half the hen. Yeah. So Lord Chaitanya's first and foremost devotee is Nityananda Rai. The glories of Lord Chaitanya are always on his tongue, and day and night Lord Nityananda speaks only of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whoever worships him, whoever worships Nityananda, he is a real devotee of Chaitanya. One who wishes to cross over the ocean of material existence and swim in the ocean of bhakti, he should worship the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. So now we're talking about Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not the impersonal Brahman, the energy, the totality, the light. It's not only the super soul, because there's a limited reciprocation there. Basically, like man proposes, God disposes, like this relationship. While with Bhagavan, you have the different rasas. Servitorship, friendship, like parenthood, and romantic, passionate love that you exchange with Bhagavan. And religion means you have a relationship. There are two conscious individuals that are trying to please one another through action. There is emotion, there is thought, affection, concern, so many ingredients in a relationship which you cannot have with something impersonal. But it also means surrender, because you need to surrender to the wishes of the other. The devotee surrenders to the will of Krishna, and Krishna surrenders to the desires of the devotee. Devotee only wants to serve Krishna, so Krishna says, okay, fine, I give you all the facilities. Here. So it works like that. That's a relationship. That's religion. That means personal religion. And it's universal. It's not that it arose in a particular time, in a particular place, from a particular person. Religion is there as long as God and we have existed, which means forever. It just comes in different packages. Sometimes like Hinduism, sometimes like Christianity, sometimes like Islam, Judaism, sometimes like the Great Spirit, all the religion of the Incas, Aztecs, or Maya Indians of Latin America, sometimes like Olodumare in Nigeria, or Nagai in Kenya, or in the Chinese and Japan. All these, there are so many different kinds of religious paths with a personal God on top. May look different, may have some different reciprocation, but it's there, it's universal. So there's no question of religious exclusivism, that my religion is the only way. There are as many ways as there are people if they really want to know God. But there are also many ways that lead you away and get you completely confused. So therefore we need to hear from authorities, from scripture, from realized devotees, to get the proper guidance so we don't get confused like this. No matter where you are. Just like one of my favorite stories is from the native Indian Americans. Like the big chief was teaching his little boy, his son, and he told his son that there's a constant fight going on in your heart between two wolves. You know, one black bad one and one white good one. They symbolize different things like this. And the little boy got intrigued. He said, wow, there's a battle in my body too? Yes, in your body too. So which of them wins? And then the chief told him, the wolf that you feed. So this is very valuable teaching. The little boy accepted a spiritual authority in the shape of his grandfather that taught him wisdom. So this is the principle. One cannot concoct these things. So in any case, enough said. This is the essence of God, is to feel happiness, to enjoy purely with the devotees in different ways, and also understanding that material enjoyment that has nothing to do with Krishna is useless. It's just a distraction. You know, we should be given up. And the more we give up material sense gratification, material enjoyment, the more spiritual enjoyment will come. Spiritual fulfillment, love, bhakti. As more and more your heart gets pure through the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, through the study of the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Matchita Madgata Pranabodha and Tasparaspara. There's Bhakti Ruchyate. There's a definition of bhakti. It's the needs of the soul. You can try to fulfill the need of the body. Yeah. You can try to gratify, over-gratify, but that will not satisfy the soul. Just staying alive is not satisfying enough. We have to actively engage Bhakti Krishna consciousness, devotional service. And then we will perfect your life as a human being. Yeah. All the other stuff we can have in any species. Even the flies, they have a lot of sense gratification, eating stool and multiplying and whatever they do. But this is the human body. We satisfy the needs, food, rest, etc. And then we focus on Krishna consciousness. That's what brings the perfection. Not to be too long. So if you have any comment or question about the essence of God, yes?
So when do we know the wolf that we are feeding, the wolf or the black?
Yeah.
And how do we know which is one? Which one is, you know?
The more spiritual happy you become, the more satisfied in realization. The more you develop the qualities of a Vaishnava, the qualities of Sattvagun, you know, compassion, generosity, you're a kind person, you're attached to finding the truth, very clean, all these things, very attached to devotional activities, attached to Krishna.
So when you feed the
black one, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're bitter, you start thinking badly about people, criticize, you introduce sinful activities in your life, try to affect others to be as bad as you are. You know, it's not so easy. You can read the Bhagavad Gita. You will find ample example of what are the black qualities and what are the white qualities. Yeah. Krishna Surya Sam Maya Hayandakar. Krishna is like the sun. Maya is like the darkness. Darkness is absent. There is no sun. So as soon as you introduce Krishna, everything will light up. Your heart will be bright. Your face will be bright. Yeah? Okay.
Jiva. What is Jiva?
Jiva?
Yeah.
That's the living entity. Your soul. The soul is a jiva. Yes. And the interesting thing is, speaking about jiva, they're one of the 6 Goswamis, the philosophers, Jiva Goswami. He was saying, gave an explanation of this Om. You know, Om is very, very popular. Aum. A-U-M, Aum. People are sitting and meditating. You know, Prabhupada says, and the Shastra is not different from the Hare Krishna mantra, really. There's some subtle difference because Hare Krishna mantra means like an active prayer to be engaged in devotional service. But Jiva Goswami says, Om A Karanochate Krishna Sarvalokaika Nayaka U Karanochate Radha Makaro Jiva Vachaka. So Om A means Krishna. He is the Lord and Master of all planets and all universes. U means Radha, which is the pleasure potency. And M or Ma means the jivas, the living beings. So when you say Aum, in that syllable you have Krishna, Radha, and all living beings in one, yeah? Which is the absolute truth. Therefore Aum is so powerful, basically as powerful as the Maha Mantra. Yeah? But Mahaprabhu didn't recommend the chanting of Om. He recommended the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So for all the jivas in the whole universe. Yes. That's the jiva. Yes?
Thank you a lot, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. It's wonderful to hear from you all the time. You can stay here all night.
Okay.
You mentioned a little bit about the religions. It is like the relationship we create. And Prabhupada chose to call Krishna conscious. And why it was so important for Prabhupada, is not to call it like religions.
Well, religion is dharma, basically, and there are different kind of dharmas. There's the Sanatan Dharma, the Varnashram Dharma. That's when people behave nicely, follow the laws of God, so that they get some good situation in life. But it's temporary, pertaining to this body. But then you have the Jiva Dharma, or the Bhagavat Dharma. That's your eternal function in relationship to Krishna, which is just forgotten, and it doesn't. It's not finished when you leave the body. Now you may be like a Kshatriya and Stri, woman, so you have a mixture of Kshatriya Dharma and Stri Dharma. Next life you may be something else. You may be a male Vaishya or a Brahmana. Then you don't have the Stri Dharma, the women Dharma anymore, and you will not have the Kshatriya Dharma, you have something else. So it's temporary. That's the Dharma Krishna speaks about. Sarva Dharma Parichaya, give it up. And he speaks about Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya. What is the Dharma he's speaking about? That's the temporary Dharma that we follow just so that this place becomes a civilized and decent society, which is a platform for making further progress in spiritual life. But our real Dharma is Krishna Bhava, what Prabhupada wanted to call it first. Bhava means your consciousness. That manmana bhava madbhakto. You think of me, become my devotee, sacrifice. Basically, you become in love with God. That's the bhava, the state of love infatuation, which is transcendental to the temporary dharma. But we need that. Now this world doesn't even have that. It's chaos. People are generally becoming more and more immoral, more ignorant, more violent. So the dharma is reducing. And the irreligion, dharma abhutanam, it's rising more and more. The evil forces of this world. And what happens then? Krishna will come one way or the other and set things straight. He will protect the devotees, the righteous people. He will punish those who are trying to destroy the world. And he will re-establish the Dharma. which is the rules of the Tivoli here. Yeah, everybody comes here has to obey. If you don't follow Dharma, you get sinful reactions. If you follow Dharma, Krishna says several places in the Bhagavad Gita, if you do your Dharma, it's better to do it with some mistakes than to try to do what somebody else's do, because that's dangerous. It's better to, fail completely when you do your Dharma than do something. And he also says in the 18th chapter, if you do your Dharma, you do not get any sinful reactions to that. The sinful reactions you have to suffer for. There's only one way to get rid of those, and that's to chant Hare Krishna, to become a bhakti yogi. But if at least you're a decent human being following your Dharma, you don't incur sin more than what you already have. Huh? So, Krishna Bhava is what takes away sinful reactions and all other entanglements in this world. Because Bhava means you're in a state of in love with Krishna. You think about him all the time. And Yad Karoshi, Yad Ashnasi, Yad Johosi, Dadasi. Whatever you eat, whatever you do, whatever you sacrifice and give away, you do it for Krishna. That is Bhava. That's Krishna consciousness. That's why Prabhupada called it that, because it's the constitutional, original situation of every jiva. It's not that every jiva is a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian or whatever. No, it's a devotee of God, devotee of Krishna, in whatever way, shape or form. Yeah? So that's okay?
Yeah. The reason why I ask about this question,
Yeah.
it is yesterday already we talked about the conscious we have the moment we let the body,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we become the next life.
Jam jam vapi smarantari chacha chanti kalevaram. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Famous
how
verse.
important it is this.
Mm.
And where you're talking today about the vacuum and the
Mm.
feather it's coming, in the space.
Mm.
And it is like if we are with the Krishna conscious, it is like we are directly happen, we go back to the God, if we have this conscious.
Mm.
And
You are
if
not
the
bound by
vacuum-
material
Not-
laws.
Yeah.
Material laws are simply for the 5 gross and 3 subtle elements. But as a spirit soul, you're entirely free. You can move by the speed of the thought.
Yeah.
You're like this. So you have a transcendental relationship with Krishna. It's not dependent on that, he has to have a mobile and you have one and you text him, and if there's no battery here, there's no conditions. It's a transcendental spiritual relationship which you can enter into at any second, just through prayers. Before you go to bed, if you just think Krishna, he's there, You just have to, you don't dial hello and it's busy, he's talking to somebody else. No, he's in your heart. You can talk to him anytime you want it, in any way you want it, like this. It's transcendental. So when you're freed from this body, you go someplace, maybe you will have to take another one. But meanwhile, you're not limited by time and space in the same way like you are in, we're sitting here in Malmö, so.
And if we have the name of the God, the Krishna, like this, if we go directly to the,
Yeah, it says that Anta Kala Chamameva. Anta means the end, Kala means time, Chamam, me. If you, at the end of your time in this body, remember Krishna, you will not have to return into another material body. So it takes some training. It's not that I can just, give me another cocktail and then when I die I will think of Krishna. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
We need to practice, need to purify ourselves.
Yesterday
that.
we have it one question. It was like Aruna's, Peter asked about if I am thinking about my daughter and I am serving her, and my thought, the last thought, it is like about her, and we discussed it about this. And
There was one Brahmana called Ajamil. I think it's the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He had a good start in life, but then he fell away and became kind of a depraved, degraded personality. So he didn't do much. And then by providence, he had a son. They named him Narayan. And when he was about to die, he panicked and was just screaming for, Narayan, 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 meaning his son. But that was sufficient because the name Narayan is absolute, So he was liberated from this. Yeah. So it's good to name your children spiritual names, but even better if you can develop Krishna Bhava yourself, so that you're naturally in that state when the time comes. Even if you have an accident, you may not, even get the chance to grow old. Something can happen. You never know. But if you're constantly in the mood of Krishna consciousness, then you're safe.
From devotees, if you do the 60 round and if you follow the principles, we have the promise from the Prabhupada. We are going back to God.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not just mechanical. But you should do it with heart,
Yes.
for a reason. So,
Yes. No.
yeah. Okay.
My
Hare
Guru
Krishna.
Maharaj, he always said that he's praying that all of his disciples will go back to Godhead.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But I have one question,
All right.
because I'm getting nervous because my grandchild, 20 years old this year, is coming now in March. And when he was here to visit in the summer, he showed some interest in spiritual life. He woke up in the morning and went to my altar, and I said, you have to bow down.
Oh, very good.
And so he has some interest in spiritual life. But I'm just thinking, I am not the one that is going to teach him, So
Why not?
I just hope that he will meet you when he's here, Because a man that can tell him stuff, Because my son and his wife, they have nothing to give, like spiritual,
That could also change. You never know.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm here to help and serve you. But it's like this, that you can lead a horse to water, but you can never force anyone to drink.
No.
So what we can do, we can just say, oh, what wonderful, clean, nice, fresh water it is. Sure you don't want to taste some, So if we channel Krishna consciousness, I haven't met you for a while, but you seem to be so happy these days, and your face is bright, and what's happening? Yeah, I started to meditate. I became vegetarian, and then started to, oh really? Well, that's what. Can you tell me about it? And can you show me? That's that's Shraddha, curiosity. So if we kind of care very nicely for people's Shraddha, they can move forward. And simply by hearing, like we were talking about in the spring, we'll go out and chant Hare Krishna. It's so fantastic, because if you go downtown Malmö, Gothenburg, Stockholm, and sing Hare Krishna, you actually engage people in devotional service. You have the 9 processes, Shravana, Kirtana, Vishnu Smaranam, etc. So when they hear us, that's Shravana. That's devotional service, pure devotional service. And then some may even chant with us, Some may do it because it sounds nice, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's Kirtana. And someone may just mock us and, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's what they did when Lord Chaitanya was born. There was a lot of Muslims. It was a lunar eclipse. So even the Muslims, because the pious Hindus that went down in the river and took shelter and were chanting the name of the Lord, and then the Muslims were mocking them. Look at this, Hare Krishna. They got benefited. Even that, that's Namabas. So Shravana Kirtan is there. And then we see so many people that look when we play and they pull up the mobile and they start filming, and then they remember us and they record it. So that's Smaranam. So doing Harinam is so fantastic, because you really, really benefit people one way or the other by this. So this we can do, and
But my sister in Spain, she lived there for 20 years. She lived there because she wanted to play golf and,
Okay.
drink wine with her husband. But I gave her the mantra maybe a few months ago. And now every time we call, Hare Krishna, she says, And it's unbelievable that she even say. And even her husband has said Krishna. Are you going to a Krishna fest, so...
God works in mysterious ways.
In mysterious ways.
God works. There's this famous story, very short. Prabhupada and devotees went on an airplane to Caracas or somewhere where it is. And they brought some prasadam for Prabhupada. So he was eating some puffed rice, I think it was, whatever. And one air stewardess came by and she was looking, oh, what's that? It looks very good. And she just took it from Prabhupada's plate. Just took some. No, this is very nice. Can I do something for you? You want? Yeah, can you give me a glass of hot milk, Prabhupada? So she went there, fixed, and then came back with hot milk. then like many years later, 10 years or 20 years later, there was a Sankirtan party down in Latin America. They went to small villages, and then out in the bushes in the forest there was one house, and whatever, and they knocked on the door. There was one woman opening, and they came in there. They wanted to sell books, and then so she has a lot of books, and there was an altar with incense burning. Yeah. And then she related the story that she went to this airplane, and then she retired from being air stewardess, and now she was a full-fledged devotee. It's a miraculous story. Over and over again, these things happen.
But like my sister, she was mocking me in the beginning, you know. I mean, there is no God, there is no God. You know? And now she says Hare Krishna. I mean...
Isn't it impressive? We are not the doers.
No.
We're just the deliverers. Yeah. We can just give Krishna to people, and then he will do the job.
Yeah, because I don't explain anything. Just do this, say this, remember this. That's all.
Yeah, that's fantastic. This is the mercy of Lord Nityananda.
Yeah.
This is the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Okay. So let's end here. Thank you very much for coming. And tell your friends, invite them to next programs. It's always nice. We want to develop a nice community here. People who are practicing Bhakti Yoga, enlivening one another, sharing experiences, do different festivals and chanting in the street and feasts and celebrations. And it's Krishna conscious life is very blissful. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Du menar till Anvik?
Jag skulle krama dig. Jag vill krama dig. Jag vill krama dig.
Yes, that's Maya. That's Maya.
That's Maya. Och så kommer han.
Det är en till som vill ha en kram bakom dig.
Han kommer direkt.
Han vill också.
Thank you. Jag trodde att jag räddade dig.
We should have stopped.
Vad känner han? Säg till honom. Han känner.